Hello, everybody. My name is Andre Van Lun. I'm a speaker, author, and coach, and I am excited and honored to be speaking here in front of you. I would like to say that I understand that you are smart and that you are intelligent and that you are a beautiful individual. And I know this because that is the type of people that tune into these type of messages, whether consciously or subconsciously. Now, I'm here to remind you to consistently make defiant decisions. See, so many of us are out here making choices in our life when we should be making decisions. Now, the big difference between a choice and a decision is that a choice is something that is nebulous, that can change like the weather, and decisions are overturned in a court of law. Actually, at the root of the word decide is side, as in suicide, homicide, genocide, and that means to kill or to annihilate. And when it comes to living your purpose and having impact and being a person who shares their gifts with the world, you have to bring that type of energy to limiting beliefs, to circumstances, no matter how dark they are. You have to bring that kill mindset, that non casual mindset to being who it is you're supposed to be on this world. Now, I have a very, very tight relationship with making defiant decisions because I was born into a very dark arena. I was in 7 foster homes, 2 group homes before the age of 7. And I was raising my brother, bouncing from home to home to home in the tri state area of New York City. And I spent most of my time in Bedford Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. And during that time, it was the cocaine era. So cocaine hit. There were drug dealers on every single corner. There were crackheads on every single corner. If you got robbed one time in a month, you were super duper lucky because that happened so rampantly in those days. And there were so many different colored crack vials in the road that when it rained, the water took it down the storm drain and it looked like a bag of Skittles. I remember that's the environment that I was living in. And I remember one evening, it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I remember at the basement, we were in the basement apartment. I remember it being cold and quiet. And you hear feet go, doo, 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 and you hear breathing. And then another set of feet ran by my window. Doo, 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 doo. And then you heard bam, 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 bam. 5 shots. And you heard a body drop. And then the next morning when I wake up and I'm walking my brother to school, I had to walk around that dead body. I had to walk around that dead body in order to get to school. And it was in that moment that I cracked wide open as a human being. I believe that every single human being is like a nut. We get our shells cracked open. And it's by adversity, it's by negative circumstances. And God taps you on your shoulder with those negative circumstances because inside that shell is the seeds of possibility and potential. That's when I got tapped on the shoulder. That's when I made a defiant decision not to be laying underneath a sheet dead, not to be locked up in jail, but to be focused. I became a man at that young age, a focused, disciplined man at that age. How many of you have encountered something so dark and so ugly, but came out on the other side? hmm That was me. So I went and I asked my mother, I said, hey, how do I get out of here? Because I am not going to be a statistic. She said, Dre, embrace your education. So I did. I made it all the way through high school, never making anything less than a B. And when guidance counselors took me into the office, they asked me what vocation was I going to take up. And they asked me that because they saw my psychological evaluations. And as a foster kid, when you're growing up, you get psychological evaluations, and they labeled me emotionally disturbed. How many of you have had labels placed on you that you had to defiantly decide were not you? Write this down. If a person gives you a label and you sprinkle belief on it, then it will forever color the incidences and the happenings that occur in your life. Don't give anybody that power. Instead, I defiantly decided that I was smart. I defiantly decided that I was intelligent. I defiantly decided that I was worthy, even though everything in my life told me that I was not. I went to graduate with a 4-year degree in exercise physiology. I defiantly started a business. I didn't let any of the labels stick on me. I let the labels fall off. I started a business. I traveled the world working with executives, working with celebrities, working with high performing people, traveling the world. I wrote 4 books. My latest, Focus on Better. And focusing on better is something that I defiantly had to do all my life. So, so when it comes to making a defiant decision, here's what happens. You get a staircase of possibility. And like Martin Luther King said, take the first step in faith. You don't even have to see the full staircase, just take the first step. So, where in your life do you need to take the first step? Where in your life do you need to step over procrastination? Where in your life do you need to step over limiting beliefs? Where in your life do you have to step over a label that you believed? There's a lot of those places. So make sure that you do take that step. I believe that this planet is a breathing, living organism, and each one of us has a function because we are the cells within this planet. And when you do what your function is, when you live your greatest you, when you put forth the effort to become a better version of yourself, you are making this planet healthier. And when you don't, you're adding to the disease and the dysfunction that is all around us. So I like to say this in closing. This is a quote from a billionaire that grew up in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, in my hood. He said he'd rather die enormous than to live dormant. So continuously make those difficult and audacious decisions to live your life being the best version of yourself possible. My name is Andre Van Lun. I am the owner of A Vision Lived, coaching and consulting, where I coach high achieving individuals to reach greater success. That's my story. Now defiantly decide to create the next version of yours. Peace.